but it's already 2019. And, you know, that's like, I love the beginning of this new year. So many new goals, you know, just a fresh, clean start. And that's what I really see for all of us here, you know, a fresh start, a clean start, and a time to, you know, set those goals, get them in place. So that's really what tonight's call is going to be about, because if you aim for nothing, then that's what you're going to hit. I never used to be much of like a goal planning person, because I was just like, oh, you know, whatever happens, happens kind of thing. But you can't, you don't get stuff done like that. You've got to have goals, and you've got to have accurate goals. So we're going to go ahead and get right into it. I have a couple slides, so I'm going to try to share my screen with you guys. So awesome to see so many of y'all. I do not want to confirm my account. Thank you. Okay. Let me know if you guys see. You guys see my slide? Thumbs up if you see the slide. Okay. Awesome. All right. So obviously, you guys probably saw this. I posted on the team page, but a dream written down with a date becomes a goal. A goal broken down into steps becomes a plan backed by action makes your dreams a reality. So it's not just enough to have a goal, because lots of people have goals. Lots of people have New Year's resolutions. I mean, but come February, it's like, it's too hard, or something happened, or life got in the way, or whatever, or, you know, things come up, and before you know, it's like they get further and further and further away from those goals, to where they just feel, you know, like it can't happen, it won't happen, I don't know how. So, and I'm sure we've all felt like that at one point or another. I know I have. So, you know, the idea is not just to have a goal, but to have a plan of action behind that goal, so that you can see the goal come to pass and see it become a reality. And so that is really what this call is about. Not just about setting goals, but on setting smart goals, and on how to pair it with action that's going to get you the results that you want. So, all right. So point number one, I've got like 10 points or 10 tips that we're going to go over tonight. So point number one is identify your priorities first. Okay. Identify your priorities first. And it sounds pretty basic, but this is so key and so vital because of a couple reasons. First of all, if your goals are not aligned with your priorities for your life, then you're going to end up shifting your priorities, or you're going to end up succeeding in things that are not really priorities to you. You know what I mean? So if your goals are not aligned with your priorities, then you're going to have this tug of war between, oh, I've got to reach my goals. And then I have these priorities over here that I'm slacking on, or that I'm neglecting. So, you know, you have to marry your priorities to your goals. So if your priority is your family, and your goal is to spend more time with your family, then those two things go together. You can attach goals, you know, with your family, and you can realize that the work you're putting into your business is going to benefit your family, because it's going to free you up long term so that you can spend more time with your family. For example, if, like, you know, this is just kind of like a random analogy, but if, you know, you are somebody who, like, let's say that you are 6 months pregnant right now, your goal is probably not going to be in this present moment to be in the best shape of your life. It might be to have the best pregnancy that you've ever had, but your goal is likely not going to be, you know, I want to get a 6-pack, obviously, because that goal does not really match the priority for the season of life that you're in right now. So, you know, take time to really think about, what are your priorities in this season of life? What are the things that are most important to you, and how can you match up your goals to honor those priorities and not take away from them? So that's super important. So identify what your priorities are, and that's the first thing. Okay. And here's something too that kind of goes along with that. I think we hear the word goals and we think of, like, you know, something we have to accomplish or whatever. Do this. Start thinking about the word goals and changing it in your mind every time you hear the word goals, and think it as priority project. So when you say my goal is, rather say my priority project is, you know, and obviously we still use the term goals because that's what people more easily understand. But for you, like, start to think about goals as that. That is the definition of what goals should be. They should be your priority projects. So when you are working on your vision board, which hopefully all of you guys did that, if you did, please post them in this group so we can see them. I need to get mine up still, but it's not too late. It's never too late to start one. It's not something you have to do just at the beginning of the year, but while you're at the beginning of the year and setting those goals, it's a really smart thing to do. I posted a link in our group page about the whole vision board course. It's a free course that you can take. It's really fun, walks you through it, and you'll have a lot of fun with it. So highly encourage you to do that. That's a side note. But if you have done it, please post it and share so others can, you know, get excited about that and see, you know, your inspiration and all that too. So, but when you're talking about your goals and the things that you have on your vision board, make sure that you can look at those and say, those are my priority projects. So, okay, we're going to go fast because I have 10 things. Okay, so second thing is you need to set well-rounded goals, okay? They need to be well-rounded goals, meaning that all of your goals that you're setting for this year do not need to be all business or Beachbody related, okay? You are not a Beachbody robot. Nobody wants you to be a Beachbody robot. We want you to be you. We want you to have, you know, your passion, to have your goals, to have your dreams, to have all the things that make you you, and you need to have goals in all of those areas. So, you know, don't just make your goals all about business, you know, because then you're going to be a lopsided person instead of a well-rounded person. So you want to look at all the different areas of your life and have goals for each of those areas. Like the other day when I was writing down, you know, my resolutions, which are more like, for me, I consider them more like goals or intentions or, you know, just things I want to, you know, improve, of course. So, you know, I have them like in all kinds of different categories. I have, you know, goals for my marriage. I have goals for, you know, our family time. I have goals for our personal finances. I have goals, you know, for our ministry. We have different goals in all these different areas. So, you know, and the reason why is because as you're pursuing those goals, if you are only pursuing the goals in one area, which would be like your business or something, then, you know, everything that you talk about and everybody that you're around, it's going to always be about that. Especially if you're a very driven person, you're always going to be about that. And people need to know you. They need to see you. They need to be able to relate with you on other areas. You know, the way that you actually grow this business anyways is not because you're a Beachbody robot, but it's because you are a real person that relates with people. And, you know, and in order for you to build those connections and build those relationships, you need to get outside of just, you know, your business box, and you've got to get out there and be a friend and, you know, build those relationships and build those connections. So have goals in all the areas of your life. If you have hobbies, if you have interests, if you have, you know, whatever other areas you have in your life that are part of your priorities, have goals in each of those areas. So that's a big one. Oh, I guess I should have kept going on these slides. Sorry. Obviously, this one kind of explains itself. In order to say yes to your priorities, you have to be willing to say no to something else. So that kind of goes back to point one, you know, when it comes to priorities, you know, go through some of the things that are priorities and some of the things that are not. And if you find yourself giving a lot of your time to the things that are not priorities, then you might want to evaluate, is this really serving me in this season of my life? And if it's not, then cut it out. You know, that's one thing a lot of people say about business, especially this business. Oh, I don't have time to do it. You actually do have time. You just got to manage your time right so that you have time to invest in this if this is a priority to you and if it's going to honor the other priorities that are in your life. You know, for me, that's what I said at first. I was like, oh, I don't have time to do that. I was working, you know, at 2 other places at the time and I was busy, you know, but I said, well, I'm looking at this long-term and what this is going to produce for me long-term. And I started cutting back on the things that weren't priorities. So watching, you know, 2 hours of TV a night was no longer a priority. Instead, building my business was, because I said that is what's going to benefit me long-term. Whereas, you know, the mind-numbing TV show is not really going to do anything for me. So, you know, start saying no to the things that aren't serving your priority projects, you know. And your action expresses your priorities. The thing you can say, okay, these are my goals, or these are my priorities. These are my priority projects. But honestly, if you really want to see what your priority projects are, look where you're spending the most time. Look where you're giving your time. Look where the action is. And where you find the action, what you find yourself doing, where you find yourself spending your time, where you find yourself spending your money, those things right there will spell out what your priorities are. point blank. There's no sugarcoating that. That is the truth. So, look at where those things are at and evaluate and say, okay, what do I need to change? That's what, this fresh start is all about, is reevaluating, changing, and getting ready to, to change up your priorities and change up your goals. So, okay. So we are going to, okay, this went with point 2. What you get from achieving your goals is not as important as what you become by achieving your goals. I love that. Part of pursuing these goals in all these different areas of our life, that's why it's important to have goals in the various areas of your life, because it's the journey, that you take, that you get from point A to point B, that develops who you are as a person. I'm sure you guys can look back on yourself last year this time and see how you've changed as a person. And part of that change has happened because of the goals or because of the priorities that you have pursued. So, know that those goals are going to shape who you are in the year to come. So, that's why it's so important to have them in every area of your life, because you're going to be pursuing those and you're going to be changing over the course of this year. So, and enjoy the journey, that's the thing too. I feel like so many of the times, we get so caught up on the goal. You got to learn to enjoy the journey, and you've got to be able to translate to that with the ladies that are in your fitness groups too, and be like, hey guys, it is not just all about work, and, go, and looking at that number on the scale. You've got to enjoy the journey. You've got to make it part of your lifestyle, and you've got to enjoy that part of it. So same is true for your business goals as well. Okay. All right, so we're going to move on to number 3, which is stay focused. Okay, this is a big one here. Stay focused. Have a narrow focus with your goals. Okay, this is where I feel like some people, they get maybe a little too ambitious or a little overzealous, and they have so many goals, and it's too broad. It's too vague in a sense. And it's too much. Like, if you can't recite your goals to me off the top of your head, if you got to go refer to a list and be like, okay, wait, give me just a second. Let me go see what my list tells me that my goals are. No. Like, you should be able to tell me exactly what your goals are, within, like a few sentences, not like a whole dissertation. Okay. Your goals need to be something that is short, sweet, and to the point. And you need to have a narrow focus on your goals, because if you're so spread out and, then, and it's so vague and it's not specific and it's not narrow, then you're going to have a hard time staying focused. And I know that this is true in my life almost on a daily basis. I sit down and I write my to-do list, and I'll put 15 things on my to-do list. And, I'm exhausted before I even start, because I'm just overwhelmed by it. And that's what happens with a lot of people setting goals. They set all these big goals, but then it's just so much. And granted, you might have some big goals, and I want you to have big goals, but those big goals, they have to be able to be broken down into smaller goals and smaller steps that you can focus on, in the present and accomplish. So I'm not saying don't have big goals, but make sure that your goals have a narrow focus and that you're not just so all over the place that you can't actually achieve them. Let me get a sip of coffee because my throat is dry. Woo, okay. So stay focused. All right. Limit your goals to where you can easily recite them. So practice that. Maybe you can't do that yet. Practice that. Know what your goals are for this year. I guess I'm specifically talking about in your business. Know what your goals are. Is it to be a 1-star diamond? Is it to be 5-star diamond? Is it to be on the next Success Club trip? What are your goals? You need to know them off the top of your head. Do you have a certain income goal? I want to be hitting this much income. And we're going to talk about some of those things in a second. And I want to go into talking about some of the incentives and the amazing programs that Beachbody has, but I don't have time to do it on this call. So I decided I'm going to make a video for you guys this week and kind of go into some of the details of the programs that you can participate in, the things you can win, the things you can earn in Beachbody world. You can earn some awesome vacations and all that, and all kinds of things. So we'll talk about that. Okay, so number 3 is stay focused. Limit your goals to where you can easily recite them. Okay, so let's talk about this for a second. Sorry. Your goals have to be broken down, okay? So let's say, for example, because if you just have this goal I want to be a 1-star diamond, that's your goal, but you don't know the actual steps that you need to become a 1-star diamond, well, that's where you first got to start, okay? What is a 1-star diamond? What does that mean? What does that look like? Being a 1-star diamond means that you're a diamond coach, that you have 4 coaches on one leg, 4 coaches on the other. You have 1 emerald on one leg, 1 emerald on the other, and you have at least 1 diamond on one of your legs. That makes you a 1-star diamond. So I know if I'm going to be a 1-star diamond, then I need to have a minimum of 8 coaches. I need 4 on this side, 4 on this side, right? And I need to help some of my coaches become emerald. I need to help one of my coaches advance to diamond. So let's start with the 8. First of all, I need 8 coaches. So if I need 8 coaches and my goal is 1-star diamond by the end of the year, and I need 8 coaches, that's, more or less about at least 1 coach a month. If you aim for 1 coach a month to enroll 1 coach a month, then you will definitely hit that goal of becoming diamond, and you'll have a better chance of hitting 1-star. 1-star depends on you working with a team member too. So that's the part that maybe you can't necessarily fully control, but you can go after that goal, and at least what you need to do. So, but the 8, that's in your court. You can do that. So, you need 4 on one side, 4 on the other. Break that down over 12 months. If I need 1 coach a month, how many people do I have to talk to in a month in order to recruit that 1 coach a month? How many invites do I need to send? So break it down like that so that your goals have actionable steps. Okay. We're going to kind of keep going on that in a second. So I'm not going to go too far into that. Number 4 is set goals that make you uncomfortable. I love this quote. Life will only change when you become more committed to your dreams than you are your comfort zone. That's a good one. Okay. So set goals that make you uncomfortable. Here's like 3 categories of goals. Okay. You have the first one is those comfort zone goals. Okay. Those are the things that are like probably going to happen anyways, that you don't really have to do anything to make those happen. They're just going to happen. So those are comfort zone goals, and those are not going to get you anywhere. That could be, maintaining active status or whatever. Or, your goal might be, maybe right now you're an emerald coach. So your goal, if you're an emerald coach right now, your goal should not be to maintain emerald. Or if you're an emerald coach, your goal should not even be to be a ruby coach. You need to be shooting for diamond and above, because, you need to have goals that are going to push you outside of your comfort zone. Nothing happens in your comfort zone. Okay. And if you just stay in that area where you're comfortable, you're not going to grow. And you're going to see all these other people bypass you, and you're going to see them grow, and you're going to be like, oh man, that same growth is available to you, but you've got to be willing to push out of your comfort zone. So first realm of comfort zones and goal setting is the comfort zone. We don't want to be there. The second realm of goal setting is the uncomfortable zone. That's the sweet spot. That's where you want to be. And you want to be, it's like you want to have those goals that they intimidate you a little bit, like they kind of scare you, and you're kind of like, ooh, that's hard. That's going to push me. That's going to challenge me. But I know I can do it. I know that if I match my commitment to that, I can reach that. Like, it's going to be a challenge. It's going to take a commitment. That you have to be consistent, but if you do those things, that you can definitely reach that goal. So it needs to kind of scare the crap out of you a little bit, but be achievable, be doable, and have that actionable step to it. For example, like right now, if you are a brand new coach, or, maybe you're a 1-star diamond or a diamond coach right now, more likely than not, maybe shooting for 15-star diamond might be a little too ambitious for you right now, but shoot for 5 or shoot for 10-star diamond this year, so don't put it so far out there that it's so unrealistic, but make sure it's realistic and it's doable, but still it pushes you at the same time. Hopefully that makes sense. You can type in the chat, let me know if I'm making sense or not. Okay. And then the third realm of goals, and we kind of just touched on it, is the delusional zone, where your goals are so far beyond your reach right now. And that doesn't mean that they're never going to happen, but like kind of the analogy I just gave, don't have your goals so far out there that you can't see them, or that you don't have an actionable plan and some steps to take that can actually get you to those goals. So you need to have an action plan. You need to be able to match your goals with an action plan. If you can't, then they're a little too far for you, and that's okay. You got to bring them back down to earth a little bit. Okay. So I'm not saying don't dream big. I want you to dream big, but dream realistic, because I want you to be able to hit your goals. So that's important. Evaluate where your goals are at. Have them big, but not so big that you know that they're not attainable. Have them realistically huge, big, and still uncomfortable. Okay. So your goal, yeah, like we said, I'm just going over my notes here, making sure I didn't miss anything. Your goal needs to have an applicable action plan, and yeah, don't set yourself up for failure. So set yourself up for success. And I know some of you guys might be afraid to put some of those big goals out there, but you need to do it. You need to put a goal that does intimidate you a little bit, but one that you can, the one that you can commit to. You know, the thing is, it's like, some of you don't believe that you can do it. And if you don't believe that you can do it, then you're not gonna get there. You have to believe that you can achieve these crazy goals, these crazy, big, scary goals. You know, you have to believe that you can do it. That is the first step. You have to believe that you can do it. And some of you need to up your belief. You need to realize, no, I can do this. I can do this. I just have to be willing to match my action, my commitment, and be consistent with those things in order to reach this goal. But I know I can do it, because if the person next to you did it, and they are more than likely less qualified than you are, then you can do it. But you have to believe that you can first, okay? So set yourself up for success by having big goals and believing that you can actually achieve them, okay? Big goals, not delusional, but big, okay? So that, I want to see some of that on your vision board, you guys. Okay. Number 5 is make sure your goals are SMART. Likely you guys have heard this analogy before, this acronym. Your goal needs to be specific, okay? So it needs to be detailed. You got to be detailed about the goals that you want to reach. So a vague goal would be, oh, you know, I want my goal, you know, I want to be, I'm trying to think of a good analogy. I want to be a great coach this year, or I want to make a lot of money this year. That is a non-specific goal, okay? A specific goal would be, you know, I want to be a 2-star diamond. I want to be a 1-star diamond. I want to be a diamond, whatever it is. That's specific. That is like, you can spell it out. I know what that is, and I know what that looks like. That kind of bleeds into the next thing. M stands for measurable. So measurable, what do you use to measure the success or the rate of that goal? For example, like you need to have a form of measuring that goal and how you're hitting it, how you're progressing towards it. Oh, I know what I was going to say a second ago. Sorry to rabbit trail, but you know, some people are afraid of setting big goals. But the thing is, it's like, if you shoot for the moon, you land among the stars kind of thing. I'm sure you guys have seen that. So don't be afraid to shoot for those big goals, because if you don't shoot for the big ones, then you're not going to hit anything. You're just going to hit these little piddly goals that are right in front of you. But if you shoot for the big ones, what if maybe you don't get quite there by the end of the year? Maybe you will. Maybe you'll shock yourself and surprise yourself and be like, yes, I did do this. But what if you get, you know, 3/4 of the way there? That's a lot farther pushing for that big goal than you would have if you just have this little small goal that you know that you can do. So that's what I mean when I say shoot for big goals, because, you know, even if you get halfway there, even if you get 3/4 of the way there, you're going to push yourself and you're going to go further. So, okay, rabbit trail over. Back to M, measurable. Okay, so an example of a measurable goal would be, I want to double my income, my Beachbody income from what it was last year, or I want to match the income that I make at my current job. So that's something measurable, because you know exactly how much you made last year. You know exactly how much you make at your current job. So you have a target to hit. I want to be able to replace this income of X amount of dollars. I want to be able to pay my mortgage with my Beachbody check. I want to be able to help 100 challengers this year. So, you know, it's measurable, right? It's measurable. It's something that you can put, it's specific, but something you can also measure. So, you know, if by June of this year, you've helped 40 people with their health and fitness goals, you know that, hey, you're doing pretty good. You're like right on target. But maybe if you've only helped 20, you know, like, okay, I've got to change some things up if I want to hit that 100-person goal by the end of this year. So it needs to be measurable, something that you can measure. All right. Okay, and this, I couldn't find a picture that had the right wording to it, but I know on the picture it says attainable, but the word I'm using for it is actually actionable, which we've been talking about that. What actions are associated with your goals? Okay, so you know, you need to be able, like we've been saying, you have to be able to put action steps towards that goal. So if your goal is to help 100 challengers in this year with their health and their fitness goals, then you know, what is that? 100 challengers in a year is how many each month? You know, what is that? It comes out to, I guess, like 8 challengers a month, more or less. Or if you want to hit Success Club 10 every single month this year, what are the action steps you need to take? If you want to hit Success Club 10 each month, then that means you need to be helping like 2 to 3 people a week get ready and get signed up for their fitness program. So that means you need to be talking to how many people? That means you need to be, you know, hosting challenge groups. So crap, I only have 10 minutes. Oh my gosh. Okay. So we might have to migrate to Facebook. Hopefully not. Let's see. So actionable, you need to break down those goals that you have into actionable steps. And if you need help with that, that's what I'm for. That's what your upline coach is for. If it's not me, then talk with your upline coach and develop an action plan. I'm constantly telling you guys, hey, I'm here. That's what these calls are for. That's what your coach is here for, to help you set up a strategy, help you develop what are the action plans associated with my goal. So if you need help with that, reach out to me, reach out to your upline coach, because we are here to help you do that. So, okay, R stands for realistic. All right, which kind of goes back to what we just talked about. It needs to be doable but challenging. T stands for time bound. It needs to have a timeline to it. Set a date and work it backwards, which is honestly, all of this is, you know, just, it bleeds all together. So, but it needs to be time bound. Don't just have this big random goal that's like, oh, someday. When you put a date to something, that's when it gets serious. That's when you actually have a goal. Until you have a date to it, it's just kind of like a wish. But once it has a deadline to it, that's what puts the pedal to the metal. So you need to set goals for yourself and have time for them. So it could be, you know, by the end of this quarter, this is where I want to be. By the middle of the year, this is where I want to be. By the end of the year, this is what I want to be. Okay. On 6, okay, I'm going to go fast through this one. Should you share your goals? Yes and no. Okay. You should share your goals, but share them selectively. Okay. And the reason why is because it's just not really, you know, you don't need everybody to know your goals, because some people are going to try to talk you out of them. You need, the people that need to know your goals are 2 types of people. It's the people that are going to help you achieve those goals. And it's the people who hold you accountable to those goals. So maybe there's somebody who is going to be like responsible for helping you achieve these goals. For example, if you know, you're running this business and your goal is, you know, to hit diamond in 2 months, you might need some help from your spouse to help you with the kids so that you can put in a power hour once, you know, 1 hour a night every day. So that is, obviously that's someone that you need to share your goals with, you know, and I encourage you to really do that anyway. Sit down, if you have a spouse or, you know, someone who helps you, a family member, sit down and share your goals with them and say, hey, this is the goal that I'm reaching and I'm really working on it. This is why I'm working on it. I'm working on it, you know, to make this happen by March of this year. And so these are the things I need to do. Can you help me? You know, and so it's important to share goals with the people who are helping you reach those goals, whether it's your babysitter, whether it's your spouse, whether it's, you know, whoever. But the people that help you reach those goals, you need to talk about. Maybe it's people on your team. If, you know, your goal is for your team to be a 10-star diamond team by the end of the year, then you need to be sharing your goals with your team and say, hey, that this means that you've got to get to diamond. This means that we've got to find more people that are going to get to diamond. It's going to be a team effort. So, you know, you got to share your goals with the people that are responsible to help you with them, and share your goals with people that are going to hold you accountable to them. So that's where sharing them in our team page, sharing them with your upline coach, if it's me or if it's someone else, share your goals. Because when you share them, then it becomes real. It's like, oh, I put that out there. Now I'm held accountable because I put it out there. And I think a lot of you guys are afraid of doing that because you're afraid of putting it out there because you might think it's too big for you. Or you're afraid of putting it out there because now you know, okay, well, if I don't tell anybody, then they won't know if I don't hit it. But if I tell somebody, then they're going to know if I didn't hit it. But that's what accountability is. You know, that's why we need accountability. That's why we need it in our fitness. And that's why I encourage everybody, you know, even on our fitness page, check in on the days you didn't do it because it still holds you accountable. So let me mention this really quick in regards to sharing your goals, all that stuff. Success partners. If you do not have a success partner, I want everybody on this team to have a success partner, okay? Because, and what all a success partner is, it's a person who is like-minded. They have the same kind of drive. They're running at the same pace as you are in this business, and you guys can just feed off of each other. You're our accountability partners for the business. So you check in once a week, whether it's through email, whether it's through text, whether it's through a phone call, if that's better for you. And you say, hey, this is what I'm working on this week. These are my goals this week. This is my action plan for this week. And you just have that commitment to check in with one another. If you guys are believers, you can pray with one another. You say, hey, this is what I'm believing God for. This is what I want you to pray with me about. This is what I want you to hold me accountable to this. I really need to work on my coach invites. That's the area I'm slacking in. Can you hold me accountable and ask me next week, how many coach invites do you send out? My goal is to send out 5 invites this week. So hold me accountable to that. Check in with me next week. And you give each other that. So if you don't have a success partner, you need to find a success partner. Okay. And I'll help you. So I'm going to do a post tomorrow saying, hey, who needs a success partner? And you can comment below and say, hey, I need a success partner. And I will do my best to match you guys up, with people that I think you'll kind of gel with and jive with. But I want to help you find a good success partner, because that is going to be vital to your success as a businesswoman over this next year. So don't underestimate this. That kind of level of accountability takes things to the next level, for lack of better words. Something we're going to be doing in this team to help each other take that accountability to the next level is every single day we are going to do a business accountability post. It's going to be a check-in post, and we're going to post it literally every day, Monday through Friday. If you choose to do things Saturday and Sunday, you can check in on your own as well. But those are the days we're going to do it. And it's where you check in every day, just like we do with our workouts. Say, hey, I did my workout. I drank my shake today. We do that on our fitness pages. So on the business side, it's going to be checking in with your power hour, or checking in with your business activity tracker, or just sharing what activities you accomplished during the day for your business, or what you didn't. And that's why it's important for you to even acknowledge, hey, I didn't do anything today, but still acknowledge it, because by you acknowledging that and checking in, you're holding yourself accountable and you're being honest with yourself. And because if you just hold it in and hide away from it, then you're not holding yourself accountable. And you're not gonna be able to move on from that. So hold yourself accountable on the good days and on the bad days. So share when you do good, share when you don't do good, because it's going to hold you accountable. So this is where sharing your goals comes in. So I really want you guys I can't force you to participate in that, but I'm telling you, if you participate in that accountability post that we do every day, if you participate with having a good success partner and being a good success partner, those are 2 things that are drastically going to move you forward in your progress. And so that's super important. And share your goals with the people that are going to help you get there. Very important to share them with significant others, because if they don't know what your goals are and you're just like spending hours online, they're going to be like, hey, what's your problem? Like, you have a family, like, look at me, but if you explain to them, honey, I need these hours. I need these hours from 8 to 10. I just need these hours because it's going to build a better future for our family. And, explain to them what you're going for. Explain to them so that they know, bring them into this so that they don't feel left out, so they know what you're doing. Okay. That's so, so important to communicate your goals, especially to your loved ones, so they know where you're spending your time and why. Okay. So I've got 3 more points, you guys. Dang it. And I've got only 2 minutes on here. So I'm going to close this out. Okay. And I'm going to go, I've got more slides. So sad, but it's okay. I've got more slides, but I'm going to close this out, and I'm going to go over to our team page, the Fit Fulfilled. I'm going to hop on there live, and I'm going to finish out these 3 points there. We're almost done, but I know I'm not going to be able to squeeze it in 2 minutes, no matter how fast I talk. So I promise this is probably only going to take like 7 more minutes max, but I want to get it all in there. This is an important call. And it's my fault because I was having computer issues. Had I not had those computer issues, I could have fit it all in. So y'all just go onto the Fit Fulfilled page, okay? And tune in on there live, and I'll finish it up there, and I'll try to get my slides to work if I can. So, okay. Sorry. If you're watching the recording, finish here and then go to the recording on the Fit Fulfilled page. See you there.